After showing off the main story as well as the new content from Eden, that just leaves us with one more thing to take care of for patch 5.2. And to do that, we've come here to Alamigo, where we are going to have to participate in the launch of a new enemy that is actually another relic from a Final Fantasy past. In fact, to coincide with the launch of the remake of Final Fantasy VII, this new enemy will be based from that game. And of course, it's an enemy we've seen quite a few times over the course of Final Fantasy VII, and so tonight we'll have to deal with the first of many of them. So hey there, Elizabeth, Miguel, and to everyone else that's just logging on, we're glad to have you with us here tonight. So, greetings people of the world, Matthias Griffin back with you here for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers Live. So, tonight, to do this, we are going to do something we have not done at all during the course of Shadowbringers content. We actually have to fight something in Eorzea, specifically Alamigo, where we are right in front of the gates to the Royal Menagerie, and since we are on the Eorzean side of things, that means that Shinji does not need to dress as the Warrior of Darkness here. So, for tonight, well, I guess we'll have to wait until later, but yeah, we'll get to that in a moment, but for now, I guess I'll have to do that before I officially go into battle. But first, let's focus on what we're going to be fighting. Let's go ahead and speak with this resistance officer to take on the new challenge entitled Ruby Doomsday. The Resistance and Alliance forces prepare in earnest as a new threat looms on the horizon. Oh, Shinji, glad you can make it. As you may have heard, Commander Olden has given orders to embark from Alliance headquarters to hold back the advance of the Empire's latest menace. Not that the soldiers stationed there are too chuffed about being on the front line against these new weapons. If they're designed to slay primals, they'd make short work of us mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Belsar and his followers who've led the charge so far. By all accounts, they've been giving as good as they get. Well, it's good to know that Gaius is leading the charge on this. Or part of his reconciliation, as it were. Unfortunately, the sorties have met with little success. I dare say they'd benefit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over at Porto Pretoria will show you the way. Well, before we go there, to engage in battle, so let's make our way down over this way. Down to the base of the stairs of the Porta. And we will touch down and speak with the Resistance fighter. Head into headquarters, I take it? Indeed we are. Head into headquarters, I take it? Indeed we are. Okay, the game audio comes in fine. That's so weird that on my own PC, it looks like I'm still holding the exact same spot as I was when I first went on the air. So, yeah, we've caught up with Gaius now, and he's with his two friends who we met back all the way in Othard, over in the Burn. So, yeah, now they officially have names. So, he has Severa and Vodolan to accompany him. So, let's go and speak with Gaius. Hello there. So your mind is set? Indeed it is. Then I shall apprise you of the situation. Do tell. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultima Weapon project is being helmed by the reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzean front. Its name, the Ruby Weapon. Severa and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs and made an attempt to destroy it. An attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultima weapon, the explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor plating, but they barely left a mark. Yeah, and as if you'll notice as well, Severa is actually Garlean, but she's missing her she's either missing her third eye or she's painted it black to hide it from view from others. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience. As you well know, the ultimate weapon was designed to absorb ether from icons, and the ruby weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any was summoned during the uprisings in Golem's occupied territories, and thereafter consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Gaius was injured shielding me from the ruby weapon's assault. Even now he struggles to stand. Damn it all, if I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You needn't concern yourself. Let us not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultimate Weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it. If we were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hovered within firing distance. In any case, we can't afford to lose the information in your head on both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Shinji's assistance presents our best chance of stopping that war machina. 'Tis true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be him. And so, though I have no right to ask this of you, will you lend us your strength? Yeah, we gotta give this some thought. Yeah, I'm not one to back down for a fight, or, yeah, probably more accurately, I do this for Eorzea. You have my thanks. And man, though I must impress upon you the urgency of our situation, we have received word that the Empire is preparing to advance on the Gimlet Dark. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proving correct, the ruby weapon will be among their host. Should it break through our lands, there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survival of Eorzea hangs in the balance. Once you have steeled yourself for the battle ahead, your escort will lead the way. And he's right over there. Yeah, big burly Rogadin. And away we go. What price must the world pay for my hubris? It'll likely be a lot. But yeah, for those of you who are familiar with the Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play to this point, you'll be familiar with things such as the Warring Triad from Heaven's Ward or the Four Lords from Stormblood. So this series on the weapons is basically an extension of that. Several hours ago in the Guardian-occupied city of Wurlitz Magitech installation. Yeah, we go now to where the thing is ready to be on its way. And there it is. Commencing Ruby weapon activation sequence. All units stand by. Yeah, take a look at this thing. And someone's even driving it. Initiating synthetic oversight system. Fusion successful. No signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Ruby weapon, codenamed Darnus, ready for launch. Yeah, and to call her gutsy is an understatement. Yeah, she's ready to drive this thing right into the heat of battle. So let's go ahead and speak with our escort. Vodalan has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Not a problem, as we now have access to the Cinder Drift. And so, before we make our way in there, it'll probably be a good idea for me to chow down on something. But what do I have that I can use, though? I'm really low on attack items as far as food is concerned. That's too bad. Because yeah, most of the stuff is for tanks and for mages. We might as well go with, even if we only get one stat out of it, we might as well just go with something. So let's go ahead and use the blood tomato juice to build up our direct hit rate. So let's go into trials and activate Cinder Drift. Though the original Ultimate weapon piloted by Gaius Belsar was destroyed in the decisive battle at the Praetorium, Garlemald has been secretly developing its successor. Now, this diabolical melding of Allegan and Guardian technologies has been deployed to annihilate those who would oppose the Empire. At the behest of none other than Gaius Belsar himself, you cross the scorched battlefield of the Gimlet Dark to halt this crimson menace before it lays waste to Eorzea. And as you see, yeah, you needed to be prepared for this, because this thing comes in with a minimum required level of 455. And we get an instant queue because people are just filing in to get their teeth, to sink their teeth into this battle. And so now, back to the Gimlet Dark and the Cinder Drift. Yeah, the ruby weapon's out there somewhere. In fact, here it comes. This thing and its pilot are on the way. And it's time for us to confront it. Mark III Anti-Icon War Machina, the ruby weapon. Enemy detected, commencing attack! Yeah, with a creepy glint in its eye. I mean, if the big freaky mother alien face wasn't any indication enough. And I get to run with a fellow Dragoon in this run. My brother, it's an honor to be at your side. I'm ready to sink my teeth into this thing. Let's do this. Three, two, one. Link to my brother and go. Yeah, you may have noticed as well, the text box is different as well, which is another interesting addition to this. This is something also, optimized Ultima will be cast multiple times by the ruby weapon. Alright, runs to the middle. Yeah, watch out for those claws. Alright, I will shoot out a battle of my own. Yeah, we gotta watch out for the fire here. Not only that, we also have to watch the pattern on the floor. Because, yeah, if you're not standing where it's white, you're gonna fall into quicksand. Yeah, that's the first trick that this thing employs. Yeah, for those of you who remember the hard version of the Sunken Temple of Karn in the first mini-boss that did a similar thing, well, it's brought back again here. Yeah, it says you won't even see them coming, but there actually is a tell. Not only does it start with AoE, but these you have to keep an eye on the lines as well. Because the AoE will then proceed to trace those lines. And well, that red mage is not having a good day so far. Now we have a split stack mech. That killed my brother because we didn't have 4 and 4. And now it's gonna go off on a fancy pattern. And we have to basically follow it wherever it goes. And if it runs into you, then obviously it's gonna hurt. Alright, if I can't have... Yeah, like, link me to someone. Yeah, why are you all hiding over there? The enemy's facing the middle of the field. Yeah. Only one safe spot, and it's right underneath the ruby weapon itself. And then you gotta scatter. Or in my case, stand your ground. But yeah, I am shocked that the tanks are not pulling the ruby weapon forward. There we go. Well, it did that willingly this time round. I gotta run from this one this time round. Oh, but stay away from that. Let it down, let it down. Yeah, no quicksand use this time. The tanks are doing a good job of containing the position. Alright, more Flexiclaw. I can use the Dragonfire Dive while it's doing this move. Okay, so once again it's going to go to Tracing on AoE. We just have to move to accommodate that movement. Oh, Stack Mech. Split Stack Mech. How did it get to where it was 6 and 2? Ugh. Alright, now it's gonna go on this fancy pattern again. Get as much damage as we can before it starts moving. Because we cannot damage it while it's doing this. And then over here. Alright, my brother. Let's link up again. Whoa. Yeah, those look pretty cool, but of course they're deadly for us. Yeah, gotta avoid that massive AoE. And then you gotta run. And hope that you're not overlapping. Yeah, you take it this time, my brother. Yeah, we're almost there. As you can see, this fight is not that hard. But it does have an enrage here at the end, so we still have to beat it before this enrage gets off. 4, 3, 2, 1, got it. No problem, right? Yeah. This thing's not so bad. So yeah, they say activating Oversoul. What does that mean? Oh, it said switching to Oversoul mode, loading data sample. Yeah, if you're paying attention to the text, this just changed, and we're not done, because the pilot just changed. Yeah, not only did their appearance change, but now they're under full mind control. For those of you not familiar, this is Nail Van Darnus, one of the last vestiges of Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, who was the final boss in Bahamut Final Round 9. And now, through some fancy tech by the Garleans, she's back. Possessing the pilot who was driving the ruby weapon, and now she's controlling it. Now we have to deal with some additional enemies. Gotta get to them and start killing them. Yeah, we had to kind of back off before we could really go for it. What are you doing? My brother, why? He ran into me and took us both out! Why? My brother, why? And now we're starting over. Well, that collapsed in a heartbeat. And that finishes us off. My brother, why? Well, thankfully, we don't have to start from the very beginning. We're allowed to resume from the start of part 2. But yeah, I gave you space to attack. Why would you jump into me? I gave you space to run. Why did you jump into me? Please don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Yeah, please don't do it again. Whatever you do. Alright, now go for it. Hey there, Ichigo. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. But yeah, as you can see, we have to beat the clock. And each attack that this version of the Ruby weapon does is very devastating. Because you basically have to beat the clock, but even then you're not done. Yeah, let's get behind her. Yeah, I don't know why everyone wants to be in cleave position, to be honest. And now we gotta run from this. Although there's not much space to run. So you're basically forced to take it. And then run behind. Oh! Oh! I almost left that too late! I almost left that too late! I guess the one who's taking this is me. Oh, keep me alive, keep me alive! No one's noticing this! No one's noticing this! I'm about to die because no one's noticing this! Oh. Yeah, you're welcome, by the way. Now at least keep me alive. Yeah, Nail is absolutely crazily delirious here. Yeah, going into outrage mode now. And it's just spamming it ad nauseum. Alright, get away. Well, this isn't to us. Alright, load up. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, because now it's only doing one attack, so this is the right opportunity to implement limit break usage. But now we have to outrun this. Got it. It was that close. But yeah, that's how these things end. They always go right down to the wire. But we got it. You may have killed us both, but you're still my brother. I'm still gonna commend you. So yeah, we may have hit a bump in the road, but ultimately we have prevailed, and we claim victory over the ruby weapon and the reincarnation, the second reincarnation in this game of Nail Van Darnus. So yeah, for those of you who ever get the chance to do the Binding Coil of Bahamut and its sequels, yeah, that's a thing now that exists. And so, after our victory, hey there, Gaius. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Thank you. Though, as I'm sure you will concur, the ultimate weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If their research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh on unstoppable. Well, honestly, aside from that one mess up with the mechs, this is a walk in the park. Yeah, the ruby weapon is actually a very easy fight, all things considered. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. What do you hear? Who goes there? A female Aurora? Hey Shinji, we found one of your own. Here to sift through what remains of the ruby weapon, are you? And she's not alone. Ali, what do you think you're doing? Just staring at him. Ali? Oh, you know her? You know her? Father! Father? It has been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. So apparently you all know each other. And this guy is not happy to see Gaius for some reason. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It was wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. No, I guess not. I know a lot's happened, but I'm just glad you're right. And now, you can come back to Garlemald with us. I don't think it's going to be that easy. My days serving the Empire are over. But because you're suspected of assassinating Emperor Varus? Probably more than that. But we know you never do a thing like that! There must be a way to prove your innocence! Then everything can go back to the way it was! Like, guys, you gonna explain yourself? Well, in this instance, we're gonna have the Echo explain it for us. Yeah, guys, can you explain why these people are calling you their father? But no, it's the Echo that will tell us all about it. So, a long, long time ago. So he found you two shivering on the roadside when he was going through Wurlit? Lucky for you, eh? If we hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. At least they're alright. As for us three, all our parents all died in the epidemic. We'd still be begging on street corners if it weren't for him. And so you all ended up here. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That's what makes him proud of us. That's how you came to do what you've been doing? You're saying we should join the army? Child conscription, though? Well, given what the Guardians have done, I would not be shocked if child conscription included something like this. I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Werlit was scared of the Guardians. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. And thus, alright, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in, and maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Yeah, an act of compassion from an unexpected source causes these 5 to do what they did. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then that would make Lord Gaius our father? Well, if he doesn't mind us calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you our big brother since you're the oldest. You better be nice to us while I'm telling father. Yeah, look how happy they all are. And knowing who they were going to fight on behalf of, it's kind of tragic when you think about it. Father, since you went away, a lot has changed in the Empire. For us too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. Why do you say that? What do you mean? The truth is... Oh, we're not going to tell him? Yeah. Their escort has come to pick them up. Yeah, we've said enough already. And away they go. If you must go, I will not stop you, but answer me this. Who was piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Nail Van Donis has not returned for the dead. Who do you think? What do you mean? It was Melisandre. Yeah, in other words, one of their sisters. Yeah, like, what? No! No, I refuse to believe that! Yeah, that cute little girl got turned into Nail, and then that tragedy occurred. I refuse to believe you would let that happen! She was a sister to you! To all of you! We only want to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all you have done for us, the next time we meet it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. Yeah. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre, I swear it! Yeah, I'm responsible for killing one of their own. And away they go. Yeah, as you probably may have guessed, this will not be the last we see of them. And so, back over to the Gimlet Dark to speak with Gaius. Yeah, you have a lot on your mind, don't you? And in the meantime, here comes Cid to try and break the ice. Well, well, Gaius van Belsaw, we meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You will come to collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be inside the cockpit. I will ask Vorderland to escort you to the wreckage. Yeah, I need some time alone. Any idea who this Melisandre is? An imperial crony of his, perhaps? Oh, it's more than that. He was their role model. One of the orphans. Gaius always did have an eye for talent and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livius Ars Junius was another protege of his. And love interest. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then, my father and countless others lost their lives in the Bozia incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support, but he was as much a pawn of the Emperor as my father and refused to intervene. And when my term came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea, and then proceeded to lose your memory for 5 years. I blamed Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. But when we met at the Praetorium, all the hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away, and I remembered the man I once suspected. Maybe it can be that way again? To think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Asians who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of his men to early graves. It's more than most can bear, and now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. And we'll look forward to seeing what you have in store for us. Yeah, as you can see, this is already a story rooted in tragedy. So now let's go and speak with Gaius again. If Cid is as I remember him, he will not take long for him to finish investigating the remnants of the ruby weapon. He was never one to waste time. And so, sometime later... And Cid's back. My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but... if Melisandre is dead, I only hope she was not made to suffer. Given what we saw of what happened to her, I think she did. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony as her very life's essence was drained from her. So she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine. Yeah, a willing act. We must act quickly if we are to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Shinji, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Yeah, I believe I can fill you in on some of the particulars. Nail Van Donis? Did the Legatus mean that much to Melisandre? From what I gather, it sounds as if data based on Nail's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected, the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned warriors such as the White Raven into its shoulders. The Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? That's more or less how soul crystals work, or a similar method of transference was used on the prototype Estinian file, was it not? Oh, so you know about this? Your friend did mention he overheard the Cinder loading various sets of data into the test model during the battle. It would appear that the system has improved since then. While it may bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage of the ruby weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of an icon has yielded remarkable results. But in doing so, the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you, yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who is supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Severa will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest Thangalian technology, there are few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. And so, yeah, nice to make your acquaintance. And so away they go. In the meantime, Vodalan and I will follow the ruby weapon's tracks back to its point of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in Galilean activity to recuperate. I believe we will do just that. Would that be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? I guess it would, wouldn't it? Remember our agreement, Gaius. And what would be? If you so much as think of returning to your Imperial masters, I will kill you. And given that expression on his face, I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, there's a lot on the line for everyone here. And so, we're back out in the field. And so we'll head on over to the Resistance officer to complete the quest for the start of the ruby weapon. Hello there. So you put down the ruby weapon. Gods, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. I suppose I should report news of your victory to the higher-ups. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? Yes, of course I can. You make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think you slay hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report and leave a copy over there should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of, like going for a celebratory pint, and eventually returning to the first as well. If the Guardians pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Until then, rest up! And so with that, we'll take our 4,255 gil for completing this quest. And thus, the ruby weapon is defeated, and one of the orphans, who Gaius took under his wing, is now dead. Meanwhile, in the Whirlit Magitech installation, yep, we're going back there again. Yeah, here's that pack of orphans. And now they're accompanied by the one who was not present. We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us, I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Ali. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Melisandre's death be in vain. Yeah, so obviously they're going to get their revenge. Even if that means going against Father's wishes. Cheer, Bonfons. We can all go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eosians. It'll be just like old times. If only it were that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me, I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next, O ye little faith. With me at the helm of the sapphire weapon, it'll be over before you know it. So in other words, we know who's going to die next. Whatever happens, Rex, promise you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you too. Yeah, sorry Rex, but you're gonna be next on the blacklist. Yeah, well, when I saw this unfold as it was, I was thinking to myself, this is like Need for Speed Most Wanted. We're just gonna get rid of the blacklist one by one.